The Raptors lose a heartbreaker to the Detroit Pistons, a Jaden Ivey game winner despite an incredible performance from Scottie Barnes. Let's go to the film room. Scottie Barnes put up a season-high 31 points tonight, 14 rebounds, and 7 assists, and I thought his process on the offensive end was the best it has been since he returned from injury. Really decisive in the pick and roll, making plays, that pass to Jakob Poeltl, but also, stretching the floor with this three-point shot. I appreciate how confident Scottie has looked taking this shot, especially post-injury. He hasn't been making them a ton, but, tonight it wasn't the case. He knocked 3 down in that second quarter, which really opened up the game. And I thought, as far as 3-level scoring goes, it's essential for Scottie to at least take those threes so that it forces the defense to just reconsider for a second so that he can get downhill or he can settle into that mid-range jump shot. And you see him here, dribble handoff, gets downhill, attacks the basket, finishes inside. I really enjoyed the aggression. He gets blocked on this possession. I wish that he would look to dunk this ball instead of laying it in soft, like just go strong and try to get fouled. And I think part of Scottie trying that three-point shot more often is just to fine-tune his touch in the mid-range area. Here he is, beautiful fadeaway over Tobias Harris. Did a great job on the offensive glass too, getting second chance opportunities for the Raptors. Beautiful play here where on the go, pick and roll, nice dump off pass to Jakob for the finish. In transition, the playmaking is always great. Nice heads up pass to RJ for the finish. And again, I just love the decision making here from him. Pick and roll, trying to get downhill, can't find an angle, re-screen with Jakob, nothing, kicks it out, catches the ball once again, attacks the closeout, gets all the way. And I would just like for him to go stronger to the basket in these moments. I think that's probably part of the eye injury. It's like getting the confidence back to be able to attack the basket full-fledged. Bully ball Scottie is always the best type of Scottie Barnes. And I think that's something that he's working himself towards. And I can't take away from the eye injury. Like having a facial fracture and then healing that facial fracture and then the eye injury and coming back from that is a huge part of your aggression. Like it's a mental thing at this point, and I imagine that's part of why he's evading contact a little bit more around the basket. But I really enjoyed his poise in the mid-range in this one. Good job getting his defender in jail and then just sliding through to finish. And there were a lot of times tonight where he missed a lot of easy looks, but hey, 31 points still on the night, which shows you how effective he really was offensively. More poise in the pick and roll here. Again, just really great job of putting his defender on his hip. And then nice swing pass to Jamison Battle for the 3. Fourth quarter clutch game. Scottie Barnes started to go to work. This time just attacking the basket. The scoop shot, again, that aggression, right? Like finishing through instead of around. Even here, drives, attacks, and then fades away against the double team, but then grabs it again and then fights through the contact to draw the foul. That's the difference between these two, right? You evade contact, you're not going to get the call. You're also going to get a bad shot. You fight through contact, you're going to get the foul call. You're going to the free throw line. Love this Scottie too, just the aggression to, kind of hunt out Tobias Harris there. Takes him one-on-one. Nice hook shot over top. Raptors just kept going to this in the fourth quarter, and I thought this was a really great possession to snake the pick and roll, and Jakob does a great job of sealing. He just misses the layup point blank. I mean, that's something that you're confident Scottie will finish later on. They go to the exact same play again, same idea. Instead of finishing the layup, he kicks it out to RJ Barrett, who knocks down a huge 3. Again, tie game here, tie situation. They go to it again, pick and roll with Jakob. Great job of going through. Again, just misses tons of contact on that. They let him play. I think you probably would call a foul on Isaiah Stewart there. Unfortunately, the refs were just letting them play tonight. And again, a really big possession. Scottie, this is why I love when he's aggressive. Pick and roll once again. They just kept going to it. This time he finishes through Tobias Harris and he gets the tie game. And so we know what happens afterwards. Jaden Ivey hit the game winner. Raptors lost. Folks, this was a weird game. It was a crazy game. There was double technical fouls. The shot clock didn't work. There was a moment in the game where there was a technical foul, then a loose ball foul, then a technical foul afterwards, and there was like a 5-minute delay because of it. The shot clock obviously kept going in and out in the second quarter. It was just strange as hell. The game ended 102-100, so it felt like a 1998 basketball game or a 2005 basketball game. Really, really ugly basketball overall for what it's worth. The Pistons didn't have Cade Cunningham. They didn't have their lead initiator. Jaden Ivey was the guy. And at the end, it was Jaden Ivey who ended up hitting the game winner. He was awesome in this game. The Raptors didn't have many answers for him, and they didn't have answers for him in that last shot too. They put Ochai Agbaji on him, and Agbaji played pretty good defense. Ivey just hit a really, really beautiful shot. And that's the game, you know? I mean, we can go into all the different stuff that the Raptors struggled with. I thought RJ Barrett had a tough game offensively. I had the tweet after the game about his road versus away or home versus away splits, and it's pretty jarring. Like at home, he's averaging 29 points on 50, 40, 80 shooting, which is incredibly efficient. 6 assists, 6 rebounds, right? On the road, 19 points on like abysmal efficiency, you know, and so I think it's like 23% from three and 33% from the field. It's like really, really like a stark difference from home and away for him. And tonight it was, 17 points on 7 of 19 shooting, struggled, hit that three to a really, really clutch shot, but it just didn't seem like he was really engaged offensively, I think, as much. And I don't know what that is. I think I would love to ask him, what it is between the road and away splits. People are going to make the bed joke and be like, yeah, he needs his bed. He needs Toronto. He needs Osmos. He needs the Osmos food in order to play at home well. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's just like he's been very, very effective at home, has not been effective on the road. And in general, like, to be honest with you, the Raptors haven't been effective on the road. They're 0-10 now. They had to fight tooth and nail to try and win their first road game today against Detroit. They couldn't do it. And I know they're going through injuries. Grady Dick didn't play in this one in what was described as a calf contusion for him, right calf contusion. He's expected to miss the rest of the road trip. Bruce Brown is expected to come back. They've recalled Jacoby Walter as well, so they are getting some players back while Grady goes out. It just seems like the story of the Toronto Raptors season at this point, where it's like, okay, player X is coming back. Guess what? Player Y is going to get hurt. It sucks. That part of the season has sucked, but that is now the 10th clutch game of the season for the Toronto Raptors. They are 2-6, I believe, or they were 2-6 going into this one. So it's their 9th clutch game of the season for the Toronto Raptors. They're 2-6 on the season. Now they're 2-7. And you can talk about the injuries, which is valid. This team has shown us that when they're actually, I can't even say that. This team has the potential to be very, very interesting and frisky when they fully get healthy, but they haven't been healthy. And so the potential is there, and everybody can see that potential for this team to play much better. Scottie Barnes had an incredible game tonight, especially offensively. It looks like he's getting his feet under him offensively after, I thought, an uneven game versus Cleveland and a really, really great fourth quarter against Minnesota, but an overall uneven offensive game against Minnesota. The defense has been elite. I broke that down twice in a row, but the offensive side was something that I thought was really, really great tonight against Detroit. And so you see Scottie doing well, RJ doing really well at home, right? Emmanuel quickly missing a bunch of games and not being able to really get any sort of consistent run. Ochai Agbaji, another interesting wrinkle here. Since the starting lineup change, where Ochai is starting next to Scottie, he hasn't looked as effective. In fact, sometimes kind of looks invisible. I actually, over the last couple games, I've kind of like forgotten. I'm like, oh, yeah, oh, right. Ochai is on this team. He was one of the most impactful rotation players for the Raptors for the first month or so of this season. And over the last couple of games, he's just kind of been invisible. The jump shot hasn't been falling. Admittedly, that's probably part of it. But I wonder if it is like a figuring out your place type of thing in this new starting lineup and how everything looks. Because, before, when Scottie was out, the Raptors were running so many high post actions, so many dribble handoffs where it was like, okay, cool. Ochai, here's the ball. Go do some stuff. Grady, here's the ball. We're flashing. We're kicking out to the corner. You're hitting that three. Like, that's a shot we rely on offensively. Now with Scottie back, there is sort of this like hierarchy to what the Raptors run. And you saw that tonight where they were just spamming Scottie Jakob pick and roll. It was very effective, but that's now part of their offense. And so guys around them are trying to figure out how to work it, adjust it offensively. I think Ochai is one of those guys that's trying to figure that out on the offensive side of the ball. And so we'll see. That's an interesting thing to kind of keep note of. I'm not saying it's do or die here, but just something to keep note of. The other aspect for me, which is really, really interesting, is this Raptors team has an ability to just perfectly execute a tank. I've tried not to talk about it, and I've tried to dance around the equation for about a month now. But I can't deny it right now. I can't deny that the way that the Raptors are losing these games, the Jason Tatum game winner, the Jaden Ivey game winner, multiple games in which, they're up against the Nuggets twice, they're up against the Kings, they're up against the Clippers, and they end up losing those games. It's just like, this is really a perfectly executed tank. And I don't want people to get mad at the word tank, right? Because I don't think the Raptors are trying to tank. I don't think anybody in that organization is saying, wow, that was a great loss. But at the same time, I do think you can take these things in stride. And so you take some of the lessons from these losses. You understand that there's injuries and that this team could obviously be performing better if they were fully healthy. And you say to yourself, well, this team is absolutely better than 4-15 or whatever their record is right now. This team is better than that. And I think when you look back to what the Raptors will look like after this season, you'll say this is a team that was much better than their record. And so that's where I'm at with perfect tank dialogue. I think this team is losing games they probably would have won if fully healthy. They're still completing like hell. They're still competing like hell to actually try and win these games. They're still working through how their defense looks, how their offense is supposed to look. They're trying to figure out an identity despite all of the injuries. And that's all you could ever want from a developing team like the Toronto Raptors. And so for you, the person who is watching this Raptors team and watching content about the Raptors team, what you can take solace in is that this team tries its ass off. And I said this against Cleveland as well. They try their ass off. They play basketball, sometimes ugly, truthfully, but sometimes in a way that is like really, really motivating, and you're like hyped about it because they're working through the progress and they're figuring out their problems in live motion, and it works and it's awesome. And ultimately, you know that there is a lot of talent on this team that is trying to figure out individually who they are as players on the court. Scottie, RJ, IQ, Grady, Ochai, Jakob, all these guys, Mobo, right? By the way, the bench was awesome tonight. I think the bench poured in like 40 points. Bruno Fernando provided a spark. Jamal Shed provided a spark. Jameson Battle provided a spark. Chris Boucher provided a spark. And so, like, I'm listing all these guys, right? And yet the Raptors still lost. And where is that lapse between, hey, this was good, the bench played well, Scottie played well, they're trying to figure out the defense, the game was ugly. They couldn't, close out certain things, and Jaden Ivey was just awesome, and the Raptors still lost. And so that lapse, in my opinion, is 2 parts injuries, 1 part figuring out who they are, and just the perfect tank. The perfect tank, folks. As always, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you guys do for us here at Raptors Republic. We always appreciate it. One note here. No recap on Wednesday night. I'm going to be at the 9:05 game for that, so no recap on that one, but I'll be back for the next one. Stay tuned. See you guys later. Bye-bye.